Welcome to Sliver and Bite TV. Today I'm collabing with
Nick from Stoneville BBQ. And today we are testing out Winner Winner Chicken Dinner Rub. So this really simple Stoneville rub has got in it pepper, a mixture of herbs. In this one it's oregano, thyme and rosemary, followed by garlic granules. Sometimes we put garlic powder in there. Onion powder, again, sometimes we'll put onion granules in there, just depending on how coarse we want the rub to be. We've got paprika. Paprika adds that really nice smoky flavour, a little bit of cayenne pepper, some kosher salt, and some dried cilantro.
Wow, Nick, that's going to be one flavoursome chook.
It sure is, Chris. So what we're doing now is we are mixing all those ingredients together. And for us at Stoneville BBQ, it's really important to make sure we give it a good mix so that every single bite of the chicken has exactly the same flavour.
Nick, that looks fantastic. Looking forward to see what you're going to use for the binder.
Yeah, well, Chris, for me, there's only one good binder for chicken, and that is honey, and then half of the can of beer. Now, the Winner Winner rub is quite coarse, so what the honey does is it gives that stickiness to the chicken, so the rub really binds on to the meat. And once we've combined it, we can add a little bit more honey. It just helps with that stickiness. I love honey, so I'll put plenty of honey on my chicken.
Now you'll see Nick applying the bind to the chook. Nick is applying the bind quite liberally. As Nick mentioned, the Winner Winner Chicken Dinner Rub is quite coarse.
And I do love a coarse rub. And the thing with paprika in rubs, you'll find when you put paprika onto the binder, it clumps and creates these really nice crispy paprika pieces in the rub when it's cooked. And look, Chris, there's no right or wrong way to put a rub on a chicken, so just get it everywhere. We're going to try and get it into every crevice, every nook and cranny. I like to not get my hands too dirty, so keeping it nice and light, and then turning it over, add a little more of the binder. You can pour it on if you want to. Just be careful you don't wash off the rub that you've just put on. So with the chicken, you can add rub to both sides. So again, I'm going to tip that rub right over, trying to get it into every crevice. And now we've got the NSFW part where we put the can inside the chicken.
And this collab marks the first time Nick and myself have made a beer can chook. And I don't think I would cook a chook any other way.
I totally agree, Chris. And what the beer can does is it really adds moisture into the chicken while you're cooking it.
And that beer adds a phenomenal flavour. Now that Nick has stood the chicken up, he's just putting a little bit of rub over the top of it. And placing that on a roasting pan. You'll see that Nick is also going to do a little touch up, just putting some of the rub in the areas that he may have missed. And you can pour the remainder of the bind into the roasting tray. That's off into the oven. This bird is 2 kilograms, so you're going to want to put that in the oven for an hour and a half at 180 degrees Celsius. And you want to make sure that the internal temperature of the thickest part of the chicken is 75 degrees.
Now, some of the viewers are probably wondering why the chicken is so black. And that's just some of the onion and the paprika really darkening in colour and doesn't affect the flavour. Oh, Chris, can I get a hand for a second?
Sure can, Nick. A little bit higher and I can pull the can out. I'll take that tray of juices. That'll make a great gravy.
And while Chris is making that gravy, let's cut her open and see what she looks like. Nice and juicy and tender.
So here I have the juice from the chicken in a small saucepan, and I've made a little slurry, reserving a little bit of the juice and adding some corn flour. Oh my gosh. Nick, it has been a pleasure cooking with you today.
It's been great.
I look forward to our next cook. See you soon.